Hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra, here with a new friend, Leighton Oosthuisen. Close still, but not quite. It's very hard to pronounce, I'm sorry, but he's giving me great grace there. Talking competitive shooting, and you are one of the very few Grandmaster class shooters.
Yep. There's a couple of hundred.
I was gonna say, a couple hundred people
in the US.
In the US that can shoot as well as you can. What's your classification in? What division?
So I shoot open, mostly.
Open.
But I also shoot PCC, single stack.
So you just all of it and having some fun.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to him about how competitive shooting is kind of organized and how we can use it to get better and get involved. Because I've just been a kind of a casual, occasional outlaw competitor, but this is fun. I think I might get involved in it. Thought you might be interested too. Today's video is brought to you thanks to Magtech Ammunition, the official ammunition supplier for all range activities of active self-protection. So we're not talking necessarily about any one particular organization. We have to be cautious with those things,
right.
Because of course, you know, you're involved on several levels with some of those organizations. But you've been here from South Africa for 20-something years?
Correct, 27 years.
What brought you here?
So I wanted to come out and shoot, and I was also looking for a change, and decided I'd come to the US, and was planning on going to California, and then when I got here I decided that Arizona was better. And
oh boy, for gun stuff and shooting stuff.
And then I found Rio Salado, and after Rio, like, where else do I go, you know?
I mean, it's Mecca, right? Rob Latham's from there.
I know,
so,
Rob and Brian Enos back in the day, and lots of great guys, and of course, not only just great shooting, but those guys were the guys that really built practical shooting as we know it, you know. And so even right now there's like 25 grandmasters that are members at Rio.
Yeah.
So you can show up at a club match on a Saturday morning and shoot against 10 grandmasters.
Yeah. Show up to Tuesday Night Steel at Rio.
Yeah, 250 people. You know.
It really is interesting. So. And I know you've got a background in both military and in law enforcement.
Right. I was in law enforcement. I was in military in South Africa, military working dog unit. That kind of is my main thing, is I work with dogs, and we have a dog training school in Arizona. I wish I knew now. I wish I knew back in South Africa in the day when we were in law enforcement what I know now about shooting. I mean, back then,
I thought it was the law enforcement that are the best shooters in the world.
You know, everybody thinks that, and it's like, and no offense to any of the police officers out there right now, but we all know that that's why we don't see a lot of them at the matches. And I wish we would see more of them.
I wish we would.
But you know, it's a different environment. We're pretty serious about. We have fun. We have a blast, as you can see. I mean, the drive, the competitiveness, the adrenaline. Law enforcement sees shooting more as a need, you know, they have to be able to do this,
job
do
task.
that, etc. But it's the oldest argument in the book. Does this help them, etc.? And I know from personal experience, if I'd had the training back then that I have now, it would have been awesome. And I'm actually friends with my sergeant major from my military unit.
Oh yeah?
And he jokes with me all the time because he sees these videos that of us shooting, and he jokes, like, why couldn't you shoot like this back then? And I'm like,
because you didn't train me to.
You'd be running me up and down the shooting range with the mag box on my shoulder. They wouldn't have gone for this run and gun type stuff that we do now.
Well, and I think though that now we see military units, police units that are bringing in high level competitive shooters to teach.
That's right.
Because they're recognizing that.
Absolutely. Rob Latham does training for military units from all over the world all the time.
I mean, they don't call him the great one for nothing.
He even brings them to Rio every now and again after they've done a class, and he always tells them, like, hey, now watch out, because there's old guys here at Rio that'll kick your butt in the shooting. So it's kind of fun to see that.
So somebody wanted to get involved. I mean, I think one of the things that people see is, like, they see a guy like me. I'm a CCW carrier. I work very hard on my defensive handgun skills. But I mean, I got to stand next to him and shoot today, and guys, it's night and day. I mean, like, I'm a pretty good shooter, but you're running .19 splits on 25-yard A-zone shots. I'm going, oh my gracious, what are we doing? But I think they see the fact that, I mean, you've got your race gun on your race belt with all your setup and all those things, and it's maybe intimidating.
Right. And one of the things to remember, this is kind of like going and playing golf with Tiger Woods. You know, you're really not expected to go and compete against a guy like that that's had, you know, I don't know how many rounds I've shot in total, but certainly hundreds of thousands of rounds. And yes, we do shoot race guns. We do have highly modified guns. But I'm always quick to point out there's guys like Niels Jonassen and Rob Latham and those guys that can pick up literally any gun off a table, your gun, anybody else's gun, and beat us with our open guns, you know. So it's not really the gun, you know. There is obviously a point when you get to a certain level where the gun starts making a difference.
Sure.
But the fact is that with many of the street guns that you just buy out of a store right now, you can pick those up and you can go compete and you can go take part in a competition. And for the majority of people, our sports shooting, USPSA type shooting, IDPA, I don't shoot IDPA, I'm with USPSA, but that shooting is a fun activity, but using the techniques and the skills that we have with firearms to teach you obviously how to use them, and that's what you're seeing.
Well, and I think that when you show up for the first time, if you just, everybody is so friendly.
Right.
And yes, it's competitive, right? I'm gonna shoot as best I can, but I'm gonna cheer you on too. I'm gonna tape up your targets too. And every time I've competed, the ones who are awesome, they watch me on a stage and then they go, "Hey man, try this next time, do this thing," and always open to those kinds of things. I mean, unless you show up and you're a jerk, in which case, you know, you get what you give, right?
And that does happen, but for the most part, most of us are you know, we're happy to have new shooters here. I love seeing. I'm always looking out for new people and they're saying, "Hey, come on in, can I help you with stuff?" And there's some debate as to whether or not we should really help them or not. There's some people who think they should just figure it out for themselves, but I like to get them, you know, involved and help them calm down, because a lot of people are really nervous that show up, you know, they've just bought this gun, they barely know how to draw it, how to reload, how to, you know, what ammo to use, etc. And this sport definitely gives them that opportunity.
For sure. So where would you suggest someone start? If they're going to say, "Hey, I've just taken maybe a CCW class, I got a range membership," but that would be kind of fun. Where do you think they might start?
So the best thing is to go on a website like USPSA.org, and there's a map on there with your area, with whatever area you're in. You just go on that, look for a club in that area, and then look up one of the club managers or one of the club directors, section coordinators. All of us are there to help the new shooters come in. A lot of clubs like Rio Salado, and I know they do it here, and Cactus League does it in our area. A couple of clubs in California. I'm obviously Area 2 director for USPSA, but we have new shooter orientation programs where a new shooter can show up. Sometimes you pay a few dollars, it's like $30, $40, but truly it's not a money-making thing. It's just to get you accustomed to what may be expected in a, and I use the word match, but I'm always cautious of using that word, because it's like going and taking a car and learning how to drive on a racetrack. You don't expect it to beat the Corvettes and the Ferraris. You know, you basically just want to drive safely. And so if you look up those places, look up a club near you, give them a call, show up. The best solution, the suggestion I always have for people that are new, is just show up and have a look around the first day. Don't plan to shoot or anything. See what those guys are doing. Don't rush out and buy a bunch of equipment, because chances are you're going to buy the wrong stuff.
Right.
You know, see what they're doing and then go from there.
Awesome. I just think, guys, I'd encourage you, just like I encourage you to go train, go shoot a match.
Absolutely.
Go try it. Go have some fun. I'll tell you, the cool part is sometimes you come to some of these classes and you feel pressure to perform, right? Like you got to do some things. Go and shoot a match. I'm only shooting against me. And as long as I do that and I see, oh, I could have done that better, I could have done that better. The biggest thing, for my opinion, for a defensive shooter that gets out of competitive shooting is learning to think with a gun in your hand.
Absolutely.
Learning to think and go, wow, okay, I got to hit that. Oh, I got to make that shot up. Then I got to move. I got to reload at the right time. I got to do those things. So,
and as long as you're safe, nobody cares what your time is or what your points are. I mean, we joke about a lot of times the guy can walk off a stage and I can say, "What was your time?" He's like, "I have no idea." So nobody pays attention to that, you know. So just be safe, be responsible, don't be an idiot, don't be a jerk, and you'll have a blast.
Guys, go shoot. Leighton, really great to get to know you.
Yeah, good to know you too, and thanks for coming and playing with us.
Absolutely.